Back in 2007, this pretty simple-looking device came out, and it basically set a 500-year-old industry on fire. This is the story of the Amazon Kindle. But here's the thing, it's not really a story about a gadget. It's about a secret blueprint, a plan from Jeff Bezos that was designed from the ground up to systematically take apart the world of publishing as we knew it.
So how on earth did they do it? I mean, think about it. How does a company that makes its fortune selling physical books decide to make its own star product obsolete? Well, the answer wasn't just about having better tech. It was about a strategy that was, frankly, brilliantly audacious.
Okay, so to really understand the scale of the earthquake that Kindle caused, we have to go back. We need to look at what the world was like before the ground started to shake. This was the undisputed reign of paper.
I mean, do you even remember what it was like to buy a book back then? You had to actually go to a store, wander the aisles, and hope they had what you were looking for. Now, you can literally go from thinking, I want to read that book, to actually reading it in less than a minute. Amazon's whole goal was to hunt down and eliminate every single bit of friction in that old process. And that one simple idea, well, it changed everything. And you have to understand, the publishing industry back then was a fortress. You had a handful of major publishers who were the gatekeepers. They decided who got to be an author. The main battleground for books was just getting shelf space in a physical bookstore. It was a slow, kind of clubby, and really inefficient system that had been chugging along the same way for decades. And honestly, it felt completely untouchable.
But inside Amazon, a very different, very secret plan was taking shape. And this, right here, is the absolute heart of the story. Jeff Bezos' blueprint to deliberately make the physical book, the very product that built his entire empire, obsolete.
It had a code name and everything, Project Fiona. I mean, it sounds like something out of a spy movie, and that was kind of the point. The mission here wasn't just to sell a new gadget. No way. The real goal was to fundamentally reinvent the very idea of what a book could be for the digital age.
And what's so amazing is that the strategy was brilliantly simple. You can break it down into 3 core pillars. First, create a device that's so good for reading that you actually forget you're holding a piece of technology. Second, and this was the big, grand vision, make every single book ever written available to download in 60 seconds. And third, the killer blow, set a price that was so low customers couldn't possibly say no.
This whole mindset was really captured perfectly by Bezos himself. He just got this brutal truth about innovation. If you aren't willing to cannibalize your own business, you can bet someone else is right around the corner waiting to do it for you. He knew if Amazon didn't disrupt the physical book, a competitor would.
But here's the twist. The Kindle device itself, that wasn't the real weapon. It was a Trojan horse. The real disruption, the thing that would change the world, was hidden inside, a revolutionary business model designed to just completely conquer the market.
This was the number that sent a shockwave through the entire publishing world, $9.99. Amazon just came out and declared that all the new releases, all the New York Times bestsellers, they'd all be $9.99 on the Kindle. For the industry, that price wasn't just low, it was impossibly, terrifyingly low.
And here's the really crazy part. The math just didn't add up. A brand new hardcover might cost almost $28. The publishers would sell Amazon the digital version for around $13, but then Amazon would turn around and sell it to us for $9.99. You see what's happening? They were deliberately losing money on every single bestseller they sold. This was never a price war. It was a land grab for the entire ecosystem.
The other piece of secret sauce was this thing called WhisperNet. Now, you have to remember this is 2007. The idea of getting free built-in 3G service, no Wi-Fi needed, no computer, so you could download a book from anywhere, it felt like actual magic. It just vaporized the very last barrier between wanting a book and reading a book. The success of this whole strategy was immediate, and it was absolutely overwhelming. It basically forced the entire publishing industry kicking and screaming into a new, and for a lot of them, a brutal new reality. The center of gravity for the entire market just shifted, seemingly overnight. You could feel the power draining away from the big chain bookstores like Borders and Barnes & Noble, and from all the little independent shops, and it all flowed in one single direction, straight to Amazon. And the aftershocks came fast. By 2011, just 4 years after the Kindle launched, the bookstore giant Borders declared bankruptcy. It was gone. Then the iPad came out, which only proved that the ebook market was real and here to stay. And then Amazon delivered the final blow to the old guard.
Kindle Direct Publishing. This was a platform that let any author, anywhere, completely sidestep the gatekeepers and publish their work directly to a massive, global audience.
So now that the dust has settled, what's the long-term legacy of this revolution? What does this world of pixels over paper actually mean for all of us as readers today?
Well, this is the world that the Kindle built. We all have instant access to a library that's bigger than any that has ever existed, right in our pocket. There's this huge new wave of independent authors who now have a direct line to their readers. And all the data Amazon collects on our reading habits has totally changed how books get sold. But, and this is maybe the most interesting part, the physical book didn't die. It just became a choice. It's something we buy for the experience of it, not just because it's the only way to get the words.
So it all leaves us with this one final thought. Bezos' blueprint totally worked. It succeeded in putting a library in every pocket, and it has forever changed how we interact with the written word. Which really just makes you wonder, right? What's the next chapter?